Spartans, and welcome to the Microtransaction. I'm your host, Liquid, and joining me today, I have none other than Nexus Season 2 Chris. Nexus Season 2 Chris, how are you doing today?
Bro, honestly, just feeling the breeze, the power, the speed of Season 2.
Yeah.
It's almost over, guys.
Yeah, we're almost done. We're
almost
2
done.
weeks in. This season was supposed to be what? How long? 2 months was it? I think it's gonna be. So,
One?
yeah. So we only have like what? I don't know. 5 months left. 5 months and a few weeks.
There's only 176 days as of recording.
Yeah. So you better hurry up and get your battle passes done. Anyway, that's enough of that. Oh my goodness. Chris, Halo. It has a lot of issues. It has a lot of bugs. We forgive it for a lot of times, more times than we should probably even. But we do forgive it nonetheless. All right. With the bugs that have rolled out, especially with Season 2 coming out, we've encountered some new things. We know that there's regionals coming out. There's some majors coming out, or a major coming out rather, in the next few months. And we've heard there's going to be fixes on the way. Now, will they come here on time? We don't know. These regionals start as early as like 2 weeks from the time this going up.
May 29th.
Yeah, May 29th. So there's that. So yeah, I mean, what happened with these issues? How does it affect the landscape? How does it affect the scene?
It's not good. You go no further than Twitch and YouTube.com, like streaming, and you see everyone complain about hit registration. And if these tournaments are online, Liquid, we're gonna see a lot of like hits that don't hit and melees that don't melee, and you're gonna see visible frustration upon pros. And casters are gonna have the work cut out because they gotta try to smooth that over.
Yeah.
I don't blame any. I don't want anybody. I don't want their job.
Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. Cause yeah, like I mean, granted, there's some things that are that like very visually, like you could see it right off the like, oh man, like a crash. A crash is obviously something you see, and it's already just jarring because they got to stop the whole game and they got to reset or figure out where they were at ball time or whatever they were. So it just doesn't even seem as cool because like let's say. Like for example, capture the flag, right? Oh, let's say you're up. There's 5 flags you got to cap. You're up 4-2. And they're like, okay, well this team only has to capture 1. The other team has to capture 3, obviously, to win, right? And it's just like so they have to start the whole match all over. Any momentum or any setup, all that's completely now broken. You're going back to start up again, and you know what I'm saying? It just sucks. Now, granted, it's good that they don't have to start from zero. It's not a rematch per se, but it still sucks nonetheless. And then from a viewership standpoint, when you're waiting, especially someone like me, dude, or even us, sometimes we like to record. We're on like a schedule. Like, yo, I gotta work tomorrow, but I also want to record because I love doing this. So it's just like we need to start wrapping this up. We need to get through these tournaments. Dude. We need to get through this stuff.
Hey yo,
like come on, man. So yeah, but it's stuff like that. It's just inconvenient for the audience. So that's what I want to talk about. Like, how does it affect like the audience and stuff like that?
I think the main thing when it comes to the crashes is how jarring it is.
Yeah.
Because you got to figure, all right, someone lagged out. Okay, they're like, whoa, you're in a match, the heat is on. You know, you're holding map control, you're setting up for a power weapon. All these high pressure, tense moments. Like, oh man, he's flag tossing, he's moving, he's a grouping, we're covering the angles, and then it crashes.
Yeah.
So then it's just like momentum stops, and then you got to figure out what happened, who crashed. Okay, then you got to figure out where were we at before the crash,
right?
And then we got to like set up the rules, and then they got to tell the casters, and the casters they got to tell the players, then they got to tell the casters, then the casters got to tell us, and then we got to make sure the PC's okay, and then we got to do it all over again. Yeah. It's jarring.
It really is. And just to name a few things here, we mentioned crashes. I also want to talk about gun jamming. I want to talk about the removal of skill jumps. I want to talk about King of the Hill when you're in the hill and sometimes it doesn't hit. Granted, these are things that they've also acknowledged that that the fixes are on the way. Some people are thinking they're sooner than later. But I mean, like I said, we got about 2 weeks from now, so these things need to happen like yesterday.
Look, how soon do you honestly think we're gonna get this update?
When is the major? That's Orlando, September, right? I'm gonna say, like, the thing is, I don't think these are all gonna be fixed out in one update. Is what I'm trying to get at as well. Like, I think these are gonna be in like multiple waves. As far as when everything will be fixed, I'm gonna say August. Yeah, I just, dude, like, I've lost faith. Like, I don't have nothing to go by that could prove me wrong, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like I have nothing to go by. So that's what I'm thinking. Now, on this list though, what comes first? What would be like, I would think if you're 343, you try to take care of what's visually jarring first. The crashes. You're gonna try to fix that. Now, granted, the crashes have been an issue since before season 2. So
that's been day one problem.
Right. So I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't get fixed come the next major.
There's a part of me that thinks crashing may never get fixed.
Yeah.
Okay. And to be fair, I think the first thing they really work on is actually the gun jamming.
I think so too.
I think that I think because it's one of those things that's affecting play per play, not even on the competitive, even on the casual sense.
Right.
You're like, I pulled the trigger, what happened? And someone who's not in the know, like you or I or the viewers at home that are in the realm of like knowledge or just casual playing, just be like, is something wrong with my controller? What's going on? Right. And then you have that kerfuffle happen. So I'm sure their gun not working in a first-person shooter game is a huge problem, and I think that's probably the first thing. If any of these things get fixed, I think that's the thing.
Right. You see, I think that's the first thing that should be fixed as well. Only because we got matching drinks, Chris.
Oh, cheers, mate.
Don't want to show off the logo though. They don't pay us, so. Yeah, sure. Anyways, but yeah, I think gun jamming should be the first thing as well, because I even though from an audience standpoint, I feel like we don't really see it happening in real time. I mean, granted, you'll see some frustration, especially when a player melees somebody and they don't get that melee reg. You can see the frustration in their face. But like, the gun jamming is also a little stupid too, and I know people don't like it. And you know, from a competitive standpoint, I think, yeah, this was what needs to be fixed, because it's just like, oh, you're having that 1v1. Let's say you have this dude dead to rights. You're about to get your perfect. You're about to get your 4th shot. Then, oh no, boom, your gun jams, and he's on his. He hit his 4th shot or his 5th shot at that point, and now boom, now you're dead. And it's just like, oh, it's so just like
disheartening.
Yeah, disheartening. Like, any motivation you have to just like to try to grind to play, it just goes away. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, dude. But yeah, I think the gun jamming, I'm agreeing with you. I think if it gets fixed, number one. Then we have, so I want to talk about crashes, skill jumps, and King of the Hill. And so what do you think comes next? Because like you said, I don't think crashes is happening. I think that's last on this. I think it's safe to say we're gonna put that last.
I think the skill jumps, because the skill jumps go hand in hand with the speedrunning community and the problems they're having.
Right.
And people like to see the jumps. I think they thought that people didn't like having this level of skill gap, and people are like, no, we love the skill gap, give us the skill gap. And you know, they're even messing around with some of the higher skill ones to see how you can do it. When it comes to Aquarius and a ledge you cannot touch, but you can touch. I digress. But stuff like that, make it more visual, make it better for playing, so they can more easily accessibly see these jumps.
Right.
But I think that gets done. I think it definitely gets done before.
I'm sorry, it broke out. You think it gets done before what?
I think it gets done before Orlando, for sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think
we'll
that one would be an easy. I think this should be an easier patch to fix out. Like, first of all, I don't know. I want to know who told them that. Hey, yeah, like that's we don't want this. Like, where did they get this idea from? Like, I don't know who they're listening to, where their ears at, because yeah, that's one of the coolest parts of the game is figuring out these little tricks, these little shortcuts. You know what I'm saying? It's fun. So yeah, but I do think that gets fixed.
When we were in street doing the pizza jump,
yeah,
I remember us taking like an hour and working on the jump,
like going one at a time.
Do it one at a time, all 4 of us in there. It should have been all 4 of us in a different lobby, so we could have just done it faster. Yeah, but that's dumb.
You're doing it with your friends. Right? That's the counts.
Yeah, you see, that's it, and you know that harkens to another thing, sense of community. So just, especially on the competitive sense, you want to see that another tricky way. And you have to remember, the casual person who's watching it, who sees it jump, they're not like, oh, well, this game is way too hard, I don't want to do this at all. They're like, yo, how the hell did he do that?
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's out looking, then he's a YouTube video away from trying to figure it out.
Exactly. And all that's doing is just building more content for your product. All that's doing is just building more of a fan base for your product. Like, I don't know. I just don't get who made this call. Anyway,
No, it was a bad call, but I'm
Yeah.
glad that it worked fast to try like to revert the call and stuff like that. And I think that competitive people are gonna go out of their way in tournaments to really show it off. I think we're gonna get the most nerdy jumps possible
You think
to
so?
really amp it. Yeah, so like, hey, bro, we like this.
Okay.
So and I'm down for it.
Yeah, that would be exciting. Let's talk about the King of the Hill. I've been playing a little bit, a lot of ranked, especially yesterday. We were playing a lot of ranked yesterday, and this King of the Hill, I've never encountered this glitch where it's not capturing. I've seen it on video, I've seen it on YouTube and stuff like that. I haven't encountered it yet though.
I've only encountered it one time, but it wasn't permanent. I've seen it where the hill is just like the game just stops.
Yeah, that's what I've seen too.
Or-
I haven't
yeah,
seen,
for
but
me, it was just
haven't-
like-
I haven't experienced that though.
Like I was on the hill, it didn't take, and then I left the hill, I died.
Mhm.
They tried to get on the hill, and then by the time my spawn cycle came through, I was able to get on the hill and be fine.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, okay. And it was, I remember, because I remember the hill that it happened, Live Fire Turbine Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so confusing. I was like, what's happening? I killed everyone. I remember because I got a sweet dub ski.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? But like, and I was just like, huh? What's happening? Why can't I get hill? Please let me get hill.
Right.
I want it. I want the time.
I want
Daddy,
the
can
hill.
I have some more?
Yeah.
Daddy, can I have some more? More.
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah, that'd be so embarrassing if you're at like MLG or Orlando and it's a grand finals match,
Right.
and then the hill doesn't fucking work.
And then it makes the game a standstill at that point, dude. How crazy.
They reset you have to reset the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You would. You'd have to reset the game, figure out where everybody's at as far as what hill points they have, stuff like that. Like, I'm excited to watch King of the Hill because we haven't seen it yet in tourneys. But so I'm excited to see how that plays out. But I'm just hoping it works. That's kind of like,
Yeah.
I just hope it works.
I'm hoping it works. I'm hoping it works too. Hopefully by next week's update, as of recording, as Tuesday will be the day where we have our weekly updates, that all of these problems get fixed. And we're like, hey, remember how this video didn't age well? Ha 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 ha. You know, I don't think it's gonna go down that way, bro.
Yeah, I don't think so neither. I think we're pretty safe. But yeah, I mean that's now, like I said, we got some updates coming. At least they've been communicating with it. They've been throwing it out there on Twitter and whatnot, and like they're acknowledging exactly the what we're pretty much bitching about. So hey, that's cool at least. But hey, anything else you have for the people at home? Anything else you want to touch up on?
The only thing I want to touch up is a Bazaar with the OS and how it spawns out the beginning of the map, except for like 30 seconds afterwards. I thought it was a fun idea to tool around with it, but boy, people did not like it because but I think honestly, it might be dumb, but I'm gonna give a little pushback to the community. I like that it was a little delayed. You fight for. I think people were so accustomed diving in on it that when they dive in and they're like, almost threw their lives away, and then died for something that wasn't there. It's like, oh wow. I'm like, well, you should have been more. It should have been more aware.
I got you.
But I'm like, would I like it later on? Like, do I like little tune-ups like this to keep the gameplay fresh? Yes, and I don't think. Hopefully this doesn't stop that.
I wanna push back on you on that for a little bit, all right? Because I agree. I think the little changes, tool around with it. I'm also with you there. I think, hey, go ahead, play around with it. That's fine. But like, as far as that, because like Bazaar feels like it's such a sometimes standstill. Anyways, it feels like it's so difficult to make progression on the map. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes where you just get locked into a portion of the map, like your whole team. So like. Doing the OS in the beginning, I feel like it stops that standstill. I do like that people jump in and try to dive for it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, it creates movement. It creates something like, except like right off the rip, like just action, death, whatever. Like you could have a great impact right off the start, or you could just fall and like shambles. Like, so I don't know. I like it, but like you said, I agree with you. Tool around with it, play with it, touch it more than once. Whatever.
Play with it.
Yeah, just play around with it. See what comes out.
You know what I'm saying? But overall, with ACS coming up this season, if these fixes don't get fixed, we're gonna have a very piss poor experience next month. No, in 2 weeks.
Which is already kind of here. Like we're already getting some of that. So It's just
Did
doubling
we
down
say
on
the
it.
dates that are coming up? Did we do that?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we have like what, May 29th, the Pro Series All Regionals with July 1 through 3rd for the EU scene. We have July 22nd to 24th for Mexico. August 5th online, just NA Supers.
Hmm.
From September 2nd to the 4th, we have like the Australian, New Zealand regionals. Then we have the major, which me and Liquid will be live on the ground.
Oh yeah, in
All right,
Orlando.
for MLG Orlando, not MLG, HCS Orlando.
Oh, I wish.
That's never gonna go away. And then we have World October 20th to the 23rd. So like, it's we're getting to the point now where a lot of things are happening back to back, and they need to tighten the fuck up.
Yeah,
And
no
they
shit.
have a very small window to do it. When honestly, Halo, it probably shines the brightest when it comes to competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely, it can be up there, but. I guess that's we're gonna close it out here. That seems to be a nice place to wrap it up. So we'll leave you all per usual. Would love each other. Take care. But above all else, just be cool. And hey, this has been a microtransaction. We'll see you in the next patch.